This is KGW News at 11.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 11. That June gloom was in full effect today with rain showers that have been non-stop throughout the day today, and more rain is on the way into the overnight tonight. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri has the latest on how much rain we could see heading into Monday. Joe, you're looking at two different extremes here, right?
We certainly are. The first extreme is all the rain that we have seen since midnight. Looking at these numbers, over a half of an inch of rain at the Portland International Airport. Hillsborough, about a fourth of an inch. We'll zoom out a little bit. You can kind of see where the wet locations were. That was along the northern part of the Oregon coast, more than an inch and a half of rain. And these rainfall amounts are going to add up here over the next hour or so. So here's a look at that frontal system that's just been parked over us basically since the later part of this morning and really hasn't let up since. We'll zoom in a little bit in a few locations where you can kind of see up and down the I-5 corridor. That rain is falling over in British Columbia all the way down into southern Oregon. It's a pretty potent system that moved on shore earlier today. And the one place that's seeing some dry weather is along the high desert, Bend and Redmond. You have that rain shadow effect. So you haven't seen much in terms of rainfall today, and you're not going to in the overnight hours. The culprit for all this rain is this atmospheric river that has been moving through, and it's going to continue to bring a lot of rain tonight and into tomorrow, and then things will start to dry out. So this is what we've seen so far today. Again, this hasn't been updated yet. It's not a third of an inch. It's over a half of an inch of rain that has fallen. So we're sitting pretty so far for the month of June already, June 2nd, and we're more than a half of an inch of rain, and that rain is going to continue heading into the overnight hours. On average, John, it's 1.63 inches of rain for the entire month of June. We get another inch and we're pretty much done or should be average for this time of year. The only watches and warnings we have out there tonight is the wind advisory that's in place throughout parts of the Columbia River Gorge and the southeast side of the state. But things are going to be warming up later part of this week. I'll have details on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you.
But it's not fair. It's not fair to take somebody's life.
A family is mourning the loss of a woman who was shot and killed in her apartment in southeast Portland. Let's bring in Ashley Grahams, and we should clarify, Ashley, police did find the suspect in this case, correct?
Portland police do have a suspect in custody, but they haven't released his name. The family I talked with today say it's someone they hardly knew, someone their daughter met only 2 months ago.
Vibrant and loving, a woman with the most beautiful smile. That's how family and friends describe LaQuanda Fuller Hudson.
Her smile is only visible now from pictures like this. That is so heartbreaking.
Police say the 31-year-old mother of two was shot and killed on May 23rd inside her apartment in southeast Portland.
My heart just dropped. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So there wasn't even a chance for her to fight for her life.
Sarissa Hall is her godmother and says LaQuanda hardly knew the man who pulled the trigger, ending her life.
She'd known him about 2 months.
It's heartbreaking for her family, especially her mother.
And he was a wolf in sheep clothing.
Who says LaQuanda's life was stolen. Now all they have is memories of their daughter, sister, mother, and friend.
Her humbleness, but also her strength and her determination of what she wanted to do to be better for herself and for her children.
Did you know she was in a dangerous relationship?
No, she didn't even know she was in a dangerous relationship.
Hall says it's a reminder that anyone can be a victim of domestic violence.
Anyone of any demographic, any race, any culture, religious aspects.
And it's important to get help right away. As LaQuanda's family grieves, they turn to each other for support.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stay a family, love on each other, and help each other through.
Now, if you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, there's help available. Take a look at your screen. You can call any of these numbers if you need resources. John?
All right, Ashley, thank you. The local iron workers union is mourning the loss of one of its members after they were killed on the job this week. Portland Fire and Rescue tell us it happened just after 3 Thursday afternoon at the construction site of Benson High School. Samantha Deschenes was critically hurt in a construction accident. She died from her injuries in the emergency room on Saturday. Iron Workers Local 29 says there is an OSHA investigation underway. A safety reminder from the Vancouver Fire Department after crews rescue a person and 6 dogs from a house fire. It happened just after 2 this afternoon near Northeast 48th Street and 47th Avenue. Crews arrived to find smoke coming from the garage in the attic with one person still inside. Crews got them and the dogs out and put out the fire in about 10 minutes. The department is urging you to leave your home immediately during a fire and to not go back inside and search for pets. Portland police arrest a man after he flags down an officer claiming he was being chased. However, they learned it's only after that man stabbed one of the 3 men chasing him. It happened just after midnight on Southwest 4th and Main. PPB says it was then that the suspect, 41-year-old Basir Noorzai, tried to run, but the officer caught up with him. They arrested Noorzai after they saw the knife was still in his hand. New tonight, law enforcement in Clackamas County arrested a dozen people during a retail theft mission, including someone believed to be involved in an organized retail crime ring. It was a more targeted mission in late May at the Burlington Coat Factory and Walmart on Southeast 82nd near Happy Valley. Officers recovered nearly $1,000 in stolen merchandise. Walmart identified one of the people arrested as they had allegedly stolen more than $4,000 worth of goods in a prior incident. It's an issue we've been covering before. Long wait times for people calling 911, late ambulance arrivals, and a lack of paramedics. In February, leaders with the county and AMR called this a crisis that needed immediate attention. Investigative reporter Evan Watson looks into what's happened in the 3 months since.
Let's start with the data, and specifically level 0 calls. Those are the worst case scenarios, when someone calls 911 and there just isn't an ambulance crew available to respond. To start this year, in January, it was very bad. Dispatch data shows AMR ambulance crews were unavailable to immediately respond to more than 2,800 emergency calls in January. That's far and away the worst month on record. Dispatchers waited more than 30 minutes on average just to assign an ambulance crew to a level 0 call, more than triple the average time of most other months. And that ambulance crew still needed to drive to the emergency after that. AMR says there is a clear explanation for this: the January ice storm. The company says the data is skewed because of the cold temps and winter storm that iced over the Portland area for about 12 days in the middle of the month. So if January was a one-off, we should see improvements in the months after that, right? Well, fortunately, we do. Compared to the same months last year, the data shows clear improvements in the number of level 0 incidents. Dispatchers tracked roughly half as many cases and lower average ambulance assignment times, down to about 7 minutes per case. Still, that's more than 1,800 level 0 calls in a 3-month span, which is still concerning and dangerous. An AMR spokesperson says the data is further evidence that the county needs to switch staffing models. In a statement, AMR saying the improvement shown for February, March, and April is encouraging, but we adamantly believe the current measures taken will not produce conditions that meet contract standards, and a total system overhaul is necessary to eliminate level 0 events from our system. The county and AMR have consistently disagreed on how to address the shortage of paramedics. The county requires 2 paramedics per ambulance, and AMR wants to pair a paramedic with an EMT. We've covered that squabble and related fines at length here on the story. Both sides admit this is an urgent problem. Well, we've covered it for a year and a half now, so where's the urgency? AMR and Multnomah County are locked in mediation sessions to try and resolve their differences over how to improve ambulance service within the county. They had one on April 18th, and they had one today. These are closed sessions described by the county as being good at promoting, quote, dialogue and compromise. Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson says she's committed to reaching a settlement with AMR that guarantees better response times, accountability, and service. She also gave a statement that could be interpreted as a vague threat towards AMR's contract with the county, saying, I'm also looking toward the bigger picture as we reevaluate our ambulance service plan to make sure we have the tools at our disposal to serve this community. County data shows AMR reported its best 3-month stretch of paramedic hiring from February to April, with a net gain of 10 paramedics. But the company says it's still severely short-staffed. AMR is providing full scholarships to paramedic school, some you can see here, but says they're still more than a year away from seeing meaningful impacts from these efforts.
All right, Evan, thanks for that reporting. A quick pedestrian travel alert. The Hawthorne Bridge's south sidewalk will be closed for a week for repairs. That starts tomorrow morning at 7. Pedestrians will use the north sidewalk while cyclists will ride behind a barricade next to the construction zone.